I've been thinking a lot about information distillation for a while, and the reason why I am thinking about that is I want to take this channel into the direction where I provide information out there and not entertainment, particularly. And in order to pursue that, the first step is I need to be educated or informed in the first place. And there are few different areas where I have my interests on. My goal is to be well informed into this topic so that no one can bullshit me about how we think, how we process, and how we perceive this reality. Now, we do have to borrow many threads from science, philosophy, psychology, spirituality, and to a certain degree, even from religion as well, because we need to think with an open mind over here whenever we are trying to dive deep into these kind of topics. But the problem is, again, information distillation. How do I find the end to this rabbit hole? I'm finding all these weird stuff that is out there, and I don't know whether it's my own lack of knowledge that I find that these topics to be very skewed or distorted into a certain extent. But the people who present these ideas, they have that quality of presenting the information in such a way that it seems plausible. But again, I'm not sure whether they are bullshitting me into a certain topic that does not exist and is entirely out of their own experience or subjectivity. I don't know. Take astral travel, for example, which is again a big woo woo topic. But having recently tried psychedelics, I tend to believe that there may be a way to do that. But again, it's a thing that it would be nice to have further information on. And there's a lot of information out there. And the problem is, again, information distillation. You want to perceive depth into certain new topics that you are interested in, but there's just so much information out there. So I'm looking into this problem of information distillation and how do we distill it in such a way that the information can be retained and can also be used in a practical sense so that you just don't become a theoretical reader but also a practical informer and also educate the people out there from these kind of things. And while I do come with a big problem, there are a few different things that I can present forward what I use personally to navigate this space. Normally, any piece of information, whether it's a book or a post or a tweet or a video or an interview or a podcast, anything, any piece of information that you receive, it usually comes from a person. So I broadly categorize people who present this kind of information into four categories. First category is just pretenders and fakers out there who just want to get rich quick without providing much value. The second category is the people who think they know better, but they still haven't done their homework and are presenting half baked facts or they haven't researched well into it. And they could also be on their way to the category four. You just need to be able to filter out these kind of people also and understand their background or context or predisposition of, of where they are coming from. No one goes out and says, hey, I have these kind of biases and fallacies that I fall into. So please keep in mind while I talk about a topic X or Y. The third category of people, you can basically call them educated introverts. They just want to have low appearance on the public, probably because of their introversion and or probably other personal reasons. They might mind their own business and care not to talk to others. These are the masters who don't seek any disciples and they're just on their own out there. Think of like lone wolf. And in the fourth category, the most ideal category is the successful people out there who are studious, deep thinkers. They have a decent amount of success out there in the real world. They're comfortable speaking in public. They might not necessarily be extroverted, but they understand the importance of going out there and presenting the information that they have in the best way possible with all the good intentions, which is again backed up by their hard work of doing research and providing information out there. How to tackle this information distillation problem? The first one is hard work. The solution is that there is no solution. Distilling information in a way that is rich, that is dense, that has value, it's just hard work, and you need to work hard to be there. If it was easy, everyone would simply do it. Use that mindset into developing your critical thinking. So when you start working hard at first, you slowly develop, learn these new things from different kind of people. So once we do the hard work and start having some sense of the depth of knowledge, and after reading some amount of authors on few different topics or broad topics out there, you'll slowly gain insights into the way of writing of people. You'll again hear from other people about their experiences of reading those authors and what their thoughts are like, and you start to develop some sort of a critical thinking ability. You do have to try it. It is just not gonna be up and ready suddenly. So you need to work on your critical thinking ability. And I understand that at first your critical thinking will be very basic. Mine share was, and again, I'm not uh, acclaimed or established. I'm still developing my abilities and reflecting on my own biases and fallacies where there could be. Once we develop a little amount of critical thinking, we can use it as a yardstick to measure the critical thinking of others. It's not going to be perfect, but it is still something than having nothing. There can be times when you see two established people from the category 4 talking against one another, and you may be forced to choose a side. This happened to me recently. I've been following Jordan Peterson for a really long time, and there's another person called Sam Harris. I watched their debate, if my assessment is correct, and they were just branching out from their ideas. And the first obvious thing that my mind makes up is choose a side, and then root for that person. But once you develop a certain extent of a critical thinking, you have to get out of that shoe where you try to root for a particular person just because you have known or heard that person for a long amount of time. The third solution that I can think of is self-reflection. Is non-reliance. It's not depending upon others, but using your own mental ability to reflect on the information that you have, and carefully distilling it based on your own thoughts, following your own guts and your own understanding. What I'm trying to tell basically in layman terms is listen to everything that is out there, and then use your own judgment, use your own understanding as a foundation to gauge the authenticity or the depth of that knowledge. And in order to reach to that stage, you do have to do the hard work. You do have to listen to others a lot and consider all that information before you start doing that. And I think you do have to develop the habit of self reflection, meditation, pondering, writing your own thoughts, journaling, all those kind of things along the way, while you're still researching, while you're studying, while you are still studying others or other people out there in areas that you want to improve. You need to do this side by side, and then slowly after a certain amount of time you can start using this more efficiently. So that is what I've been doing. Now to summarize this video, I broadly categorize the information that is out there, look into the authors and presenters and their background. I study them before I dive deep into their content, books, or whatever it is out there. I look into them and factor their background into the content that they produce. I categorize them into 4 categories: pretenders, half knowledge, introverted, and the extroverted, broadly speaking. And the information distillation strategy that I use is first, simply work hard, write your own notes, distill your thoughts. Secondly, follow others who have walked on the same path before. And thirdly, pave your own path. That's it. That's the information distillation problem in a nutshell and how I'm tackling at the moment. It's amazing that I've been able to just summarize what I wanted to tell in less than 30 minutes. I don't know what I'll do. I just have very limited time, and I want to be efficient with the process of how I study, how I distill the information that I studied, and how I present, because presenting that information that I have studied to others is also an important aspect of it. I don't want to end up in the category 3 where I know a thing or two about some deeper topics, but I'm just introverted to the extent where I am unable to present my information. I don't want to be in that category as well.